Alright, so in this quick recap video, I'm going to be walking you through two swing trades that I signaled, to my team yesterday, and we both sold them out for profit this morning. The first one was UPS puts. So we entered 917, 195 strike puts. So let me walk you through my conviction behind this trade. The first thing that I see for UPS is on the daily time frame. Both of these trades I took off of the daily time frame. For UPS, we can see that this yellow moving average right here is the 55 EMA. This is a very strong technical resistance. So on September 2nd, September 3rd, and September 7th, buyers or bulls, whatever you want to call them, tried to get price over the 55 EMA. They failed both times. They were both rejected at the 55 EMA because the sellers and bears were sitting there and they pushed price down 2 days in a row, as we can see by these top wicks right here. Now, going back to yesterday, September 7th, what kind of candle do we have here? Well, we also have the rejection, but we also have a bearish engulfing candle. All right, if we zoom in here on this candle, the body of this candle from September 7th completely engulfs in a big way the previous day, which was September 3rd's daily candle. Okay, so that's a bearish engulfing candle. We now have a bearish engulfing candle. Combining that with the rejections at the technical resistance of the 55 EMA, that is a really sweet, high probability bearish confluence that we have in UPS. Now, look at where this candle closed for UPS. It closed, and what a nasty bearish close this was, right on the technical supports of the 9 and 21 EMA. Now, they were trading together, and those are two very strong supports next to each other at this point in time. However, scroll down and look at the volume. Volume came in for UPS. So we have the rejections at the 55 EMA. We have the bearish engulfing candle. That alone gives us a high probability bearish confluence. And now we tie in volume. That's a nasty 1-2-3 punch that looks like UPS to the downside is what's going to happen more than likely. Futures were slightly red this morning. UPS did gap down like a tiny bit, but as soon as UPS opened, boom, it dropped 50 cents and our calls were in the money. We ended up selling them anywhere from 25 to 28% plus profit, and it turned out to be a really, really nice swing trade. Now, the next swing that we had was FSLR, which is First Solar. Now, what drew me to this setup first was this symmetrical triangle that price was showing on the daily time frame. So it's a little bit of an ugly triangle, but the support lines are definitely there, and so is the resistance lines to a degree. But I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is an ugly symmetrical triangle. However, a couple things caught my eye yesterday. Let me zoom in here as I break this down. Looking at the daily setup, right off the bat, I catch a double bottom off of $93. So going back to September 3rd and then yesterday, September 7th, buyers created a double bottom. They did not want price going below $93 and they bought price down there and they pushed it back up. So that alone tells me, okay, we got a double bottom. That's a bullish reversal setup. Combine that with price trying to break out of this symmetrical triangle. Now we're talking. We're getting into the high probability areas, although this is still an ugly symmetrical triangle. Scroll down here to the bottom. We've got a volume bar that eclipses the previous day. So yesterday's volume bar from September 7th eclipses September 3rd, which was a Friday. That volume bar from yesterday is bigger than Friday's. That's a nice bullish confluence now with the double bottom and the volume bar. More volume came in. That's a nice bullish confluence that we have. However, FSLR, it's not a popular name. It does not get a lot of pre-market action, like the Fangman names do. But you see today's giant candle? Well, if you follow your process and your system that you have down for trading and you put yourself in these high probability setups, eventually you're going to strike gold. And this morning, FSLR just so happened to be one of those rare occasions where we were in a swing trade and we happened to strike gold on this. When I signaled this trade, I followed my rules, I followed my TA, I followed my system that I have down. 15 minutes before market open. So remember, you can't trade options during pre-market, right? It's from 9:30 to 4 p.m. 15 minutes before market open, President Biden comes out and says by 2050 he wants solar power to produce half of the United States energy. Immediately off of that news, solar names gap up off of that in pre-market. As soon as that news came out, we swung FSLR 917 96 calls. Immediately, as soon as that news came out, FSLR, boom, in the money by $1. Price shot up to $97. Notice this top wick right here when the market opened, and notice where this candle opened. This candle, today's daily candle, opened at 98.40. Our calls were over $2 in the money. Look where this top wick is. This was all happening very quickly in the first half an hour market open. Obviously, since then, FSLR faded its move. But look where price went. It went up to $102. We had 96 straight calls. Our calls were very, very deep in the money. This turned out to be one of those rare occasions where we struck gold because I followed my system that I have down, and the stars aligned with President Biden speaking 15 minutes before market open. This trade ended up being 115 to 130% plus banger, depending on where you sold. However, this is a good learning point as well. This is why you don't hold on to anything that you're in profit with, okay? Nobody can complain about 100% plus profit. That is ridiculous to try and complain about that, and if you bag hold that, you deserve the consequences that come your way. If I show you FSLR here on the 5-minute, let me get back to market open here. This is FSLR on the 5-minute, okay? It faded about half an hour in, the second 5-minute candle of the trading day. It opened at 101 and it closed at 99. So that's a very big move for FSLR to make. You know, we had a very big explosive move in pre-market. Market makers, they're going to be selling out. Okay, so FSLR did not have the momentum to keep pushing higher. So if you got caught bag holding, this amazing 100% plus trade is now red because the calls are no longer in the money. They're probably red, or if they're not red yet, they're probably a small green. So let this be a learning example. Never bag hold any profits because you get greedy, hoping for more. And if you do follow your system that you have down for trading, and if you know it's a profitable system, and if you put yourself in high probability setups long enough, eventually you will have a setup like this where you end up catching, or where you end up striking gold. And this morning, President Biden ended up helping my team out immensely, giving us this 115% plus swing trade. Now, if you have any questions about these two setups that I just went through, leave them down in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer. And if you want to follow me trade by trade, make sure you join my team, and my server link is in the description down below as well.